Hi everyone. Here we come to the last session of the Geo-Industry Talks for 2021 with an important topic. I just want to ask you, have you ever tried to post your product picture in a great landscape? If the answer is yes, welcome to the marketing world. Today we will talk about how to measure your marketing activities with my brilliant guests. Let's meet them. Elaine Ball, she's coming from GeoSpatial Marketer at GeoSpatial Marketing Academy. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, absolutely. So, hi guys, I'm Elaine Ball. For those who know me, I'm based over in England, and I'm a geospatial marketing consultant, and I'm also the co-founder of Get Kids into Survey.
Okay, thank you. And Gavin Schrock is here. He is coming from consulting editor at Geomatics. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah, I'm a practicing land surveyor, but I'm also consulting editor at Go Geomatics. I've been involved in the editorial teams of quite a few geospatial publications, and I'm over in Seattle, Washington, which is the nice Washington. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your explanation. And Kevin Cobley is here from President of Cobley Communication. Kevin, would you like to give us who you are?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Yes, Kevin Cobley. Cobley Communications, a marketing communications firm, and I've been in the geospatial industry for longer than I'd like to say, but I was also, before I started my business in '93, worked on a lot of the startup teams through the early parts of my business with space imaging, orb image, digital globe, rapid eye, EOSat. That's where I was actually employed. So I go way back in the industry and have been doing marketing and business development ever since.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now I'm gonna jump to my questions. As you know, in digital marketing worlds, new trends are developing month by month. In light of recent developments, we have to be awake to apply latest dynamics to our business to increase efficiency. Regarding this, my first question will be that how to apply marketing trends to your marketing activities to improve your efficiency and performance in the geospatial industry. Elaine, would you like to start firstly?
Sure. I think one of the biggest things is information that attracts the right audience. So I always bang on about the full customer journey and also the buyer persona. So those particular buyers that you want, who you attract with your products and services, and understanding that full journey. So I think the one of the best ones is invest in inbound marketing, which attracts that content that attracts the right audience to your product line.
Okay. Gavin, would you like to continue?
Okay, so MarTech, MarTech marketing technology has always been around. It's just, it's accelerated how fast the data can move now. That's it. I mean, the fundamentals of having a customer relationship management strategy or system. I mean, trying to understand, as you said, it's very dynamic, is there are, software as a service or services for your customer relationship management, which, if you're a very small firm, may not be practical, or you're dealing with very little data to come up with statistics. But let's say your startup has gotten to the point where you're moving product, and then you're not going to get it past that honeymoon period of the startup if you don't have something like that. I mean, there's not an endorsement. Some of these services, like Salesforce, very well known for getting into those. But the elements of the CRM, customer relationship management, your collaborative, analytical, and operational, kind of good to understand those, because when you do get that data back, it's how to apply them in those three areas. So.
Okay. Thank you for understandable explanation. Kevin, now is your turn.
All right, great. Thanks. Yeah, so the important thing about having successful metrics, successful measurements on the back end of your content management program is on the front end, you've got to know what your messages are. You've got to have really good SEO, search engine optimization on your website and everything you do. But if you're going to walk away with one thing from this session, you have to remember that the search engines, the spiders and whatnot, they are looking for answers to questions, how to do something. And so in about 80% of your outbound content, you want to be telling the story or delivering the message of, here is how our customers or potential customers can use our products or services to do their jobs faster, better, cheaper, safer. That's it. Those four things: faster, better, cheaper, safer. Those are the key messages that are going to make your content marketing successful.
Yeah, thank you so much. As I understood from your explanation, we are targeting top of the funnel, right? Top of the funnel in our marketing route. That's why the new trends are so important for us. My second question will be about traceability in marketing activities. As you're aware, we always want to get reasonable results from our own marketing roadmap. And this reality proved that the importance of traceability. According to your marketing goals, Elaine, what are the challenges of traceability for marketing activities in the geospatial industry?
Well, I have a list coming out of my ears, so however long you want this to last. So I'll touch on a few things. I think there's two differences between sort of surveyors and also equipment manufacturers. So let's just bounce onto the equipment manufacturers. One, a lot of the marketing staff within equipment manufacturers are well-qualified marketeers, but they're in a bubble and they don't get integrated with the sales team. So they don't know when they're producing content, website stuff, going to exhibitions. There is no process from start to finish. They don't know it. They don't know to ask it. There may be a lack of confidence. Maybe the VPs or the bosses are also not quite sure, don't know where to start, don't think about it. And I think traditionally we're in a very product-centric industry compared to like if you're in marketing industry where it's very customer centric or, you know, end user stuff, that sort of thing. So that's one of the biggest challenges that I see. And when you sort of delve into it, they're not linking things up. So they're not knowing and seeing what's happening. The other thing as well with manufacturers is that you find that they're so busy pumping out brochures, setting up exhibitions. It's all stuff that they're trying to do on a day-to-day basis. They're not actually making it analytical. They're not actually following up with it. Because they think half my marketing's actually working, they leave it be. But as soon as there is a recession, something happens, COVID, things get pulled back, marketing gets stopped because there's no measurement, there's no process in line.
Yes, thank you so much.
Hi, I didn't catch that. We had a comms interruption.
Let me ask you my question again. What are the challenges of traceability for marketing activities in the geospatial industry?
Yeah, well, geospatial industry, I mean, it's not completely unique, but it is like some others that it's a little bit esoteric. And as Kevin put it, those four key things are very key in the geospatial, as they are in other industries. So tracing the traceability of the marketing, well, the success of, say, marketing campaigns. Well, okay, that goes different paths. Some people might be looking for that sweet spot between, the web analytics and then the marketing analytics, and trying to apply that to, we spent this much in our marketing and we got this much in sales. Well, wait a minute. Some of that sales might have been generated from paths that had nothing to do with all of your wonderful brochures or your self-generated content. On our end of it, I know Kevin, you and I have talked about this many times. We see it we get to hear things that the marketing groups full of wonderfully qualified MBAs never get to hear. if we write independent content as a geospatial publication, or even our freelance work, we do independent content. That's like user-generated content. This whole thing about the influencer world, despite the negatives that people attach to it, people are going to pay more attention to what they've heard from an independent source. They're going to blow over the glossy brochures, etc. So part of the strategy has to be tracing through content that is not even your own. And sometimes, I give you an example, a company comes up with a new product, and one of us writes some independent review about it. And then after it's been out there a while, we'll approach some of these new customers to write a case study about their experience with it. Those are gold. Yeah. You know, and the when the customer is happy with their new gear and they're posting it out on their social media, those engagements are different than the engagements on the company's own channels. And if you don't believe me, that's what you got to do. You got to go down the rabbit hole and trace it. And that's boots on the ground, tracing it, talking to people directly.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Kevin, would you like to continue?
Yeah, I'm going to take this question a little bit different direction, because really Elaine and Gavin just covered everything I was going to say. One of the things that's going on, I think with traceability, we get too focused on that, especially with Google and maybe placing Google ads and things like that. And what I've seen happen is that a lot of people are forgetting about the trade publications, and we're lucky in this industry. We have a lot of great trade publications. Some are print, some are online, some are both. And obviously a display ad and a print publication is hard to trace, but the main thing to remember is the online publications, and to some extent the hard copies, you can trace those. There's a lot of value in there. That's where your customers are. So don't get too caught up in doing Google ads. Not that they're bad. It's just you're going to get a lot more for your money with through the trade publications. Don't forget them. The other reason to support trade publications, not just for the benefit they bring you, but for the whole industry. Trade publications is where education is occurring, right? Education, sure, it occurs in classrooms with textbooks that are 3 years old by the time they're printed. But guess what? The cutting edge education in our industry and most high-tech industries is occurring in the trade publications. So if you support them, you're helping the industry, and you also help yourself.
Thank you so much. Let me share my humble opinion. This is my humble opinion. If you have a strong marketing budget, you can buy the best marketing automation for traceability in your marketing roadmap. And I will continue with my last question. The topic is measuring. The measuring marketing return on investment is essential, as it provides insights into the effectiveness of your marketing. This brings us to a question of what are the solutions to increase the return on investment of your marketing activities in budgeting? Elaine, would you like to start again?
So I have some examples to share with you. So I just thought I'll pull some together and also share some of the stuff that some of the geospatial industry that are actually doing a really good job, not because they're involved with me, but they're doing a good job and I want to highlight it. So the first thing is look at the entire customer journey, as I talked about before, and plot out the customer journey with your team. And what I mean by the customer journey is you've got the buying journey when people know they have an issue, they're trying to solve it, so they're coming to look for your solution. But actually, before the customer journey, before the buying journey actually begins, so before they actually know they've got a serious problem or they have something, they're trying to search for it, what Kevin was on about earlier with search engine optimization. So think about how people search, why they search, especially in the buying journey. And then as an example here is what is SLAM, for example. Now there's some great content on GeoSlam's website. I went digging around to actually see some really good examples that they're doing. So they've actually really done a great job at showing you. And what that's actually doing is, one, when people do a search for what is SLAM, because they might be interested, they're going on the site, they're reading it, but then it takes an interest. Oh, this is interesting. Let's have a look at another page. You can trace this all through your Google Analytics. You don't have to pay for it. Another example, which I am guilty, I have been part of, is we produced a document in the sales process when actually they're in the buying journey. This is one of the questions that people were asking us. This is a Topodot example, is how to choose the best point cloud processing software. So we actually wrote a blog out to try and not be too Topodot heavy, but actually explain, you know, how to choose the best solution for you. And we posted this on the 1st of September. And I looked at the analytics today to give you a 22 days. We had 183 views, 171 were unique, with 2.5 minutes on that page. Now the exit rate was only 43.1%, which is pretty good. And we only had one call to action. Now the call to action at the bottom was make a discovery call. So we know we can trace it from when they've searched and come onto that landing page. They've read the page, so we know they're reading it 2.5 minutes. Then they've gone down to the call to action, seen it, clicked on it, booked a discovery call because we've got that logged. This is all, we've used this in Salesforce as well, so we've got this logged in Salesforce. And then we know when they've come into demo, gone into trial, and then made that sale over a period of, say, 6 months. So I'm currently doing that with this one at the moment. So takeaways is where they land, measure it, have one call to action. Another great example that I'd like to share is actually, and again, I haven't been involved with this, but I just thought this was really nice, is have a look at Microdrone's website and have a look at their Down to Earth series. It's like Ice Road Truckers, and it captures your attention. You think, ooh, what's this about? And it's talking about drones in particular applications. So as somebody searching for this, I'm thinking, should I buy a drone? I'm not quite sure, they're expensive, there's that many. He's actually caught your attention, Mike. So they go onto the site, it's on demand, so you can access it anytime. You fill in your name and your, I think it's name and email at the beginning, which is a marketing qualified lead. You get to see the on-demand webinar, which is about 45 minutes, all about this series, which is quite exciting. They've used a case study, which is brilliant. And then at the end, towards the end, then it's like actually make a call with a sales representative if you want to know a little bit more about the drones. And that's then your sales qualified lead. So then now the sales team can then track that through their budget, so they can actually say, right, we need more content in here, we need this file here, we need this landing page here, and this is what we're going to look at.